Welcome to Arthouse Legends, where high art and geek culture collide. This is the MovieDude Eric, and it is that time again for the Oscars, which is going to be happening really shortly. But before the festivities begin, I wanted to go ahead and I wanted to talk about some of the things that were happening for this particular Oscar season, some of the nominees, and also to tie it into some of my favorite performances that came out this year, as well as some of the other achievements I think perhaps might have gotten missed by the Academy. Now, this is an old hat for me specifically. I've been a follower of the Academy for years. If you've seen any of the other Oscar episodes that we've done for Arthouse Legends, you'll kind of know my my opinions about about some of the direction that the Academy has gone, especially with last year's Oscar So White kind of movement. We'll be kind of seeing the first year of that kind of change here, and I'm reserved to some of the changes that we're seeing, but at the same time, though, I don't know. It's one of those things that I would prefer to kind of give it a couple of years to kind of just really see if this is just something that happened this particular Oscar season, or if this is something that we'll be kind of seeing as kind of a thing that's going to normally be something normal with the Academy, at least within the next couple of years or so. So let's go ahead. We got a lot of territory to go over, so we're gonna go ahead and move into talking about the nominees. I'll be throwing in, if I were to have my vote, who I'd be voting for. Maybe it'll be someone that is nominated. Maybe it won't be. There are some that I feel really got the shaft this year. Now, some of that is just because there's a whole bunch of movies, and let's be honest here, the Academy isn't the end-all be-all. It is the most prominent award that is given out for film, but at the same time, let's be honest here, they don't get them all the time. So it's one of those things I give and take as it is. So we're going to kind of go over some of the ones. I'm going to get the more prominent ones later on, but we'll go ahead and do some of the technical stuff first. Let's start off with, let's go ahead and let's start off with production design right quick. For production design, Arrival, Fantastic Beasts, Where to Find Them, Hail Caesar, La La Land, and Passengers. Of those, I would say I don't understand why La La Land got nominated, but I am very glad that Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them were. Arrival definitely has a brilliant set design to it. Although I'm probably, if I were to have a vote here, I'd probably say Hail Caesar, primarily because it doesn't just match one genre. There's several different genres that is being designed out with the different varying sets and various different periods that are being produced for this particular movie. So that would probably be my award, but more than likely it'd probably be Fantastic Beasts or Arrival that would get it. Although maybe La La Land, because La La Land is the favorite for this award season. All right, let's go ahead and let's talk about music real quick, because I have some problems with some of the choices that they had for music, specifically for original song. The nominees this year were there were two for La La Land, Audition, and City of Stars. Can't Stop the Feeling from Trolls. The Empty Chair, Jim, the James Foley story, and How Far I'll Go from Moana. I mean, obviously, in any given year, I would probably say that it would be Moana that would be the favorite for this show, and maybe it will. Lin-Manuel Miranda is kind of the celebrity of the year when it comes to music. But at the same time, Can't Stop the Feeling. I think it went platinum like 6 times over before the movie even came out. This was one of those that I didn't even realize this song was actually a part of a movie until the movie came out, and that it was written specifically for the movie. I thought maybe they just decided to pick up a Justin Timberlake song just so they could have it in their movie. I mean, this wouldn't be the first time that DreamWorks has done something like this. But, okay, let's just go and say it. La La Land's music is boring. It's boring. Why are these songs being nominated? Why? I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. This is some really boring music. And on top of that, Drive It Like You Stole It from Sing Street didn't get a single nomination. And yet La La Land got 2. What the hell, Academy? Seriously, what the hell? That is the best song of 2016 in a movie. Easily. Hands down. Doesn't even come close. There's no real... No. This is wrong. This is absolutely wrong. But at the same time, though, okay, La La Land has to have 2 songs, I guess. Especially in a genre that which usually sometimes caps it off to like 2 or 3 songs, because there's not usually a very strong season. If we're gonna have this many strong songs, then we should go ahead and just increase it up to 7 at the very least. But okay, fine, we have this. But no, Drive It Like You Stole It. To me, there is no other song that should be getting this award. All right, but for score, we have Jackie, La La Land, Lion, Moonlight, and Passengers. Not one of these scores, not one of them is very memorable. And in fact, in Jackie's case, that I honestly swore that they were using classical music for the score. I really, this is not great music. I'll take it back. Thomas Newman does kind of do something interesting with Passengers, and I guess if I had to pick from the 5, that would be who I'd pick for. But Arrival had much better music. Much better music. Hell or High Water had better music than any of these 5. But I guess, all right, this is what we got. All right, so let's talk about the screenplays right quick. Best adapted screenplay, we have Arrival, Fences, Hidden Figures, Lion, and Moonlight. This is a very strong category, and this is one that I would have a hard time picking from these. Although I would probably say that if I had my choice, I would throw in Nocturnal Animals, which I think had the best adapted screenplay of the year. But of these, I'd probably go with August Wilson's screenplay for Fences, primarily because August Wilson took his stage play, and he was able to kind of turn it into something cinematic. And I think part of that, you have to give Denzel Washington credit for what he did to kind of make that screenplay into something cinematic. But I think that Wilson did make changes to his original play enough that it does definitely it does lend itself for a cinematic vision. For original screenplay, Hell or High Water, La La Land, The Lobster, Manchester by the Sea, and 20th Century Women. For me, I would say La La Land is basically it's a rehash of other kind of tropey, short-term relationship stories. The Lobster, I could definitely understand why it's getting a nomination, even though to me it feels like a knockoff of something that Charlie Kaufman would do. So for me, I would say Hell or High Water and Manchester by Sea are the 2 that I would really be going for. Although Hell or High Water and what Taylor Sheridan did for his screenplay, I think is just brilliant because he really takes the cop and robber genre and he gives it an interesting twist. He gives us really interesting characters. And on top of that, I really appreciate how he really kind of navigates the story and making us feel a kind of a love-hate relationship for these particular criminals that we're kind of following. And I love that it doesn't let the criminals off in that sense. So that would be probably my pick. Although I don't know. Yeah, I would say Hell or High Water. I can't really think of a screenplay that I like better this year when it comes to original. All right, so let's talk about cinematography. Cinematography is something that I'm usually just very excited about, and this year is absolutely no different. Although to me, if you were to just ask me what was the best shot film of the year, there would be no. Someone did ask me a while ago who my favorite, or what was the best shot film of the year, and that is Arrival. Bradford Young did for Arrival things that are just really amazing. It's a beautiful looking film. In fact, it was so good. I had honestly, because I after I'd seen the movie, I had actually said, wow, that Roger Deakins has learned a few new things. Because I thought that this was Roger Deakins after he had worked with Denis Villeneuve on his last two films. And no, it was this guy. And this guy has got a long and very exciting career. He was also the guy who had done the cinematography for Selma, which was really well shot as well. Yeah, I'm now a huge fan of this guy. I can't wait to see what he does next. I know he's got the Han Solo movie. I'm really excited to see what he does. This guy is one that I think has got a long and very prosperous career. That said, though, Rodrigo Prieto for Silence is also that was a great shot film. Loved it. But no, Bradford Young, I mean, it's not even a question. All right, so let's talk about animated feature film. This one is one that I have kind of an opinion on. Kubo and the Two Strings, Moana, My Life as a Zucchini, The Red Turtle, and Zootopia. Kubo and the Two Strings is more than likely going to be the winner here. I would be really happy if it won, although for me, Zootopia is the better film, which is one that I'm really surprised that I would be saying. I haven't seen My Life as a Zucchini, so perhaps I should go ahead and put that out there. Red Turtle is really good as well, but for me though, Zootopia just hits on all the cylinders. On top of that, it's one that really makes you think. This is a movie that I would probably not have been upset if it had made its way to the Best Picture category. So kind of leave it at that. So let's talk about film editing. Now, editing is one of those things that I prefer to really watch the movies more than once to really pay attention to the editing style. So to me, this is kind of one that I would feel a little bit less confident about talking about, but I'm going to go ahead and throw my 2 cents in. So the nominees for film editing is Arrival, Hacksaw Ridge, Hell or High Water, La La Land, and Moonlight. Of those, La La Land, no. Moonlight's got some pretty interesting editing, although it is kind of tropish in a way. Arrival, I think, is probably my favorite editing, because especially the way that it, especially once you have seen the film and you know kind of what it's doing editing wise, it is pretty brilliant. That said, I would also say Nocturnal Animals should have been on this list. I think that Nocturnal Animals has some really amazing editing. I would also go as far as to say as Silence also had really great editing, but it's one of those that yeah, for me, Arrival is definitely the overall winner here. Hell or High Water does have some pretty interesting editing, especially when you get to the major sequences that occur in the film. I think that it does a really good job of kind of splitting the action and kind of putting it together in a very cohesive way. So, but Arrival, I think, especially when you get to the climatic moments, definitely works. So Arrival would probably be my major pick this year. All right, so let's talk about the major categories. So we'll be going by the supporting performances and lead performances, director, and picture. So let's go with Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Best Supporting Actor. We have Mahershala Ali for Moonlight, Jeff Bridges for Hell or High Water, Lucas Hedges for Manchester by the Sea, Dev Patel for Lion, and Michael Shannon for Nocturnal Animals. All right, let's get this out of the way. Dev Patel should have been Best Actor, or in the Best Actor category, because technically, first off, he is Lion of Lion. On top of that, this is the main protagonist. So putting the main protagonist as your supporting performer is really obnoxious. This is the same problem that I've had with Haley Steinfeld and True Grit, where she was the lead and yet she was nominated for Best Supporting. This is some serious bullshit, Academy. You don't do this to a performer, especially when it's your lead. This is very insulting, insinuating that you don't know what it is that is a supporting and lead performer. This will be not the first time this season that we'll have this problem. We'll be getting to the next one in just a bit. That said, Jeff Bridges is great in the film. I love his performance. He was not the best performance in Hell or High Water. Where's Ben Foster? Ben Foster is one of the best performances of the year. And if it weren't for another person that I'm very glad to see nominated here, I would say it was easily hands down the best male performance of the year. But the other best performance is Mahershala Ali for Moonlight. And that is one of the great performances with one of the great scenes of 2016, which I'm very happy to see him get nominated. And if he wins, more than likely he will win, I will be extremely happy because he deserves it for that scene alone. I am very happy about this performance, and I do want to see him win for this. That said, I'm happy that Michael Shannon got nominated. I wish that in a way that Aaron Taylor Johnson would have gotten a nomination as well for his performance in Nocturnal Animals, but I get it. We only have 5 spots, even though Dev Patel should have been put up on the Best Actor label. And Lucas Hedges, which was another one of my favorite performances of the year. Great performance. I can't wait to see where this kid's going next. I'm really happy about that. That said, Ben Foster, get it right, Academy. You screwed up on that one. Let's talk about the other major there's 2 other major scripts we're going to talk about. The next major one that we're going to be talking about is in the Best Supporting Actress. With here, we have Viola Davis for Fences, Naomi Harris for Moonlight, Nicole Kidman for Lion, Octavia Spencer for Hidden Figures, and Michelle Williams for Manchester by the Sea. Viola Davis is not a supporting performance. She is a co-lead with Denzel Washington. You do not put your lead in a supporting role like this. This is wrong. She should be going up against someone who wasn't nominated this year for Best Actress, which we'll be talking about in just a second. But I will say, though, that I am super happy that she at least got nominated, and I really do hope that she wins, even though at the same time, I really do love Michelle Williams and what she did with Manchester by the Sea. I really love what Octavia Spencer did with Hidden Figures, although in a way I wish that Janelle Monáe would have gotten nominated as well, because I think that she was an extremely standout performance, both in Hidden Figures and in Moonlight, which is saying a lot because she didn't really have a whole lot of time on Moonlight, but again, that's for another discussion, which I have a feeling we will talk about at some point on the podcast. Nicole Kidman does give a great performance here. Naomi Harris, who I have a great deal of respect for as an actress. I love what she does in a lot of the films that she does here, and for her performance, she does a really good job, even though the role itself does not lend itself for for Academy consideration. So in that sense, I'm a little disappointed, but it's not. But it's not about the actress, because, in my opinion, when it comes to Moonlight, I will not say one bad thing about any performance in Moonlight. All the actors did a bang up, exceptional job. I love those performances, hands down, great performances. Just the movie itself just doesn't lend itself for such great things. But again, that'll be for a conversation about Moonlight. That said, though, Viola Davis, come on. Again, come on. All right, rant over for now. We got another one coming up real soon. Let's talk about Best Actor in a Leading Role. We have Casey Affleck, Manchester by the Sea. We have Andrew Garfield, Hacksaw Ridge. Ryan Gosling, La La Land. Viggo Mortensen, Captain Fantastic. And Denzel Washington for Fences. Oh, boy. Oh, man. I loved Casey Affleck. I love Viggo Mortensen and Captain Fantastic. But Denzel, hands down, this is one of the best performances of his career. And understand, we're talking about a very seasoned career. This performance earns him, in my opinion, one of the best. He deserves all the awards for Fences. More than likely, it'll be Casey Affleck, and I'll be perfectly happy with that as well, because Denzel's already gotten a couple of trophies under his wing. He don't need another trophy. Although he'll still get my complete admiration for Fences. Casey Affleck just gives a great performance. Viggo Mortensen in Captain Fantastic is an underrated performance, in my opinion. I don't think that he got enough attention for it, even though he got a lot of attention for this performance. It's one that I really would love to talk about in detail at some point. Ryan Gosling, it's just playing Ryan Gosling. I don't know why he got nominated here. This didn't deserve it. This was he's just Ryan Gosling. And Andrew Garfield, he does a great job in Hacksaw Ridge. I will not say a bad thing about his performance. He does a great job here, but at the same time, I wish he would have gotten nominated for Silence, which I thought was a more nuanced performance, one that definitely allowed him to play a larger range of emotions. Although Hacksaw Ridge does have give him a lot of range. To me, Andrew Garfield embodied the Gary Cooper type of stoic performance that I think is very classic in Hollywood, and it's one that I can really appreciate that he's getting nominated for. But Silence, in my opinion, was a better performance. But I'm glad that he got nominated this year, and I hope that this means that we'll be seeing more great performances coming from him moving forward. But let's talk about Best Actress. So, Best Actress has Isabelle Huppert for Elle. We have Ruth Negga for Loving. We have Natalie Portman for Jackie. Emma Stone for La La Land. And Meryl Streep for Florence Foster Jenkins. Where do we get started? La La Land, my opinion, I don't understand. Whatever. Natalie Portman for Jackie. This is one of the most overrated performances of all time. I do not understand where people said that this performance was exceptional. And especially coming from Natalie Portman, who has done exceptionally great work before. This is nothing new or interesting from her. I don't understand why we have this coming from her and why this has gotten so much attention. Quite honestly, it just baffles me all the way. It's not even good for Netflix, in my opinion. I'm so glad that Ruth Negga and Isabelle Huppert got nominations. I think that those were two extremely nuanced performances. Especially Ruth Negga. I was really concerned that Loving was going to be completely ignored from the Academy. And I'm glad that of all the performances that she was the one that got nominated, even though Joel Edgerton, I think, deserves some attention as well. But like I said, Best Actor, that was going to be a pretty tough one in itself. But Meryl Streep. Florence Foster Jenkins is not a bad movie. It's not a good movie, but it's not a bad movie. And a lot of it has to go with Meryl Streep, but I think a lot of more of it is that it's because of Hugh Grant that really kind of helped props up that performance. If she gets the win, which she might not. In fact, I'll say that more than likely it's going to be Emma Stone that's going to win this, even though I don't really agree. Even though, no, I love Emma Stone. I think she's a great actress, but this was just not the role. But if Meryl Streep wins, she should practically be splitting it in half with Hugh Grant, because he really did kind of prop her up on that one. That said, though, how do I say this? Where's Amy Adams? Where is Amy Adams here? Why is she not nominated? You're going to tell me that the best performance of 2016, along with Viola Davis and Mahershala Ali and Ben Foster, and she gets snubbed. This is egregious. The last time that this kind of injustice has been done by the Academy was Take Shelter with Michael Shannon. Why? I don't get it. I really don't get it. Amy Adams' performance is one of the most amazing performances to come from Hollywood. It's nuanced, it's bold, it's quiet, it's reserved, it has a wide range. Amy Adams just carries all of the different things that this character has to do, and all the things that this character really has to portray, and she carries it like a champ. And she gets snubbed for Natalie Portman? What the hell? What the hell, Academy? What the hell? I don't get it. I just don't get it. I don't get it. But if I had to pick, Amy Adams would get the write-in. But that's just me. But Amy, you did some incredible work. That not just here, but also Nocturnal Animals. And especially coming that this was the same year as Batman v Superman, you definitely made up for it. And I can't wait to see what you do next. Preferably nothing in the DC universe. Or if you do something in DC universe, do something really awesome, because you deserve something awesome. But let's go ahead and let's talk about the directors. Alright, for Best Director, we have Denis Villeneuve for Arrival. We have Hacksaw Ridge with Mel Gibson. We have Damien Chazelle for La La Land, Kenneth Lonergan for Manchester by the Sea, and Barry Jenkins for Moonlight. Where do we get started? Alright, so Moonlight is a good movie. It is not because of its directing. It's not because of its screenplay. It is entirely based on the performances itself that Moonlight is a good movie. La La Land is a competently made movie. I will give it that. That is as far as I will go for La La Land. It is a boring, dull, very drab performance that doesn't spark with anything of excitement. So I don't understand why either of these two particular films were nominated for directing. Mel Gibson for Hacksaw Ridge. I mean, yeah, it's got some interesting action sequences, but there's nothing about the direction that just screams out yes. There's nothing here that I'm very happy to see Mel Gibson getting nominated for. Now, the movie is a good movie. Don't get me wrong, but it's not one that deserves a director's nomination. Of these, Denis Villeneuve for Arrival and Manchester by the Sea are the ones that truly deserve the nominations. And they're done so primarily because of Lonergan just being withheld and allowing his story to kind of find a place and is truly in his he doesn't get in the way. He doesn't try to do anything too flashy, which is kind of reminiscent of what we saw last year with Spotlight. That said, Denis Villeneuve, Arrival, I mean, it's just, I cannot say enough great things about Arrival. It's a great film, and of these, this is the one I really want to win, even though more than likely it's either going to be Barry Jenkins or Damien Chazelle. Denis Villeneuve, in my opinion, has got such talent, especially in his last three films. Even though I'm not a huge fan of Prisoners, I definitely saw the talent there. And then Sicario blew my mind, and now I can't say enough things. I can't wait to see what he does next. I know he has Blade Runner coming up, and if the rumors are true about Dune, I can't wait to see if he gets that job or not. But where is Martin Scorsese for Silence? Where is Tom Ford for Nocturnal Animals? Where is Denzel Washington for Fences? Those films are much more well-directed than the other films that we've seen on this that are being nominated here. Where are they? In my opinion, this is yet again Scorsese not being celebrated for his best work. We saw this with Goodfellas. We saw this with Taxi Driver. We saw this for The Aviator. And now we're seeing it again for Silence. This is wrong of the Academy. You can't do this to great talent or to great directors because of... I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm sorry. I can't. But on top of that, Denzel Washington, with his direction here, what he did with Fences is on par with what Clint Eastwood did with Unforgiven, capable of getting both interesting visuals with great performances. I mean, vastly superior to what we saw with Moonlight and with Hacksaw Ridge. You can't just ignore you can't ignore it. You can't ignore it. I'm sorry. This is directing to me that there's only one real choice here. But I'd probably write in Scorsese if I were to do it, because Scorsese was the best director of the year. The best direction of the year. I can't say enough great stuff about what he did with Silence. So let's go ahead and let's talk about Best Picture. So Best Picture, we have Arrival, we have Fences, we have Hacksaw Ridge, we have Hell or High Water, we have Hidden Figures, La La Land, Lion, Manchester by the Sea, and Moonlight. Lion? Seriously? I've seen all 9 of the nominees before the nominations come out, and Lion was almost by accident. I didn't think that would get nominated for Best Picture. And after seeing it, it's not worthy of Best Picture. Great first act, great third act. The middle is... the middle is just all over the place. I'm sorry, it's not that good a movie. It's a good movie, but it's not worthy of Best Picture at all, period. Let's go ahead and let's also talk about Hacksaw Ridge. Hacksaw Ridge is classic. It's classic Hollywood. It's one of those things that I can definitely see the older voters going for, kind of a reminiscent of Sergeant York and those kinds of very inspirational type of performances. But no, not Best Picture. It is not Best Picture worthy. And then let's talk about Hidden Figures. Hidden Figures, I love Hidden Figures. I love the performances. There's a lot about Hidden Figures that I would love to talk about. I think that this is a story that I'm glad got a chance to get made, and I'm glad that it found the success that it had. But this is your standard biopic type of movie in its presentation. It's telling an interesting story, definitely, but it doesn't do anything unique and different with the genre. What it does well, and I'm very happy that it found the success it had. But it didn't deserve to be on the Best Picture list, especially with movies that didn't make it for the Best Picture. And then of course La La Land, which I really have to talk to someone who absolutely believes in this movie, because I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get why La La Land got the love that it had. And this is coming from someone who loves the old classic musicals, who watches the MGM musicals on not on a regular basis, but who has copies in his collection, who enjoys that kind of just classical style of romantic comedy. But no, La La Land is it's just boring. It's dull. It's got nothing going for it. Why is this nominated? I don't get it. I just, no. But I am glad that Arrival and Fences and Hell or High Water and Manchester by the Sea got nominated. All of those, I think, are great films worthy of Best Picture. I really wish that Silence would have made the list. I really wish that Nocturnal Animals would have made the list. Zootopia, I think, would have been great if it would have gotten the Best Picture nomination. There's just a lot of films that I think could have been on this list that just got completely snubbed. And that's disappointing. That is truly and genuinely disappointing. But those are my opinions of some of the best performances, best directing, and some of the other categories. We'll probably be doing a discussion about the winners and kind of the ceremonies after the awards, which will probably be, I'll be posting a little bit later on this week. But tell me what you think. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Can you defend can you defend La La Land from me? I would love to have that conversation if you're interested. But feel free to put them in the comments section, or you can hit us up on Twitter at Arthouse Legends, or you can email us at arthouselegends@gmail.com. And get ready, because we're going to have a whole lot of video coming up. I'm going to be posting quite a bit over the next couple of weeks. And I really hope that you'll join us for the ride with Arthouse Legends Vidcast, and of course Arthouse Legends Podcast, where you can catch the rest of our stuff, which you can find on iTunes and Stitcher. But this is the MovieDude Eric and Fiend.